Welcome back to Heal and Learn. My name is Dr. McKellen Drain. I'm here in Gilbert, Arizona, close to the Phoenix area, and today we're going to be talking about the Jue Yin applied channel theory system. And we have gone through majority of the systems already. We started off with Tai Yin and just followed that Oregon clock all the way through. So today we're at Jue Yin, and we're going to just talk about the functions. So let's jump into it. Jue Yin is going to be in charge of this level of retreat, storage, and rejuvenation. So think about that retreat aspect being involved with the liver being the general, where usually the general is in a safe, secure area while there's a battle going on. So he has the option to say, hey, we're going to retreat, or let's keep pushing the battle. So that's where this level of retreat is. Storage is going to typically be for blood and yin, and rejuvenation is going to be while we can like dredge and open everything. So that's like the little things that we're going to be really diving into. Let's keep going. So the primary metabolism of Jue Yin is going to be nourishment of blood, allocation of blood, fostering yin, regulates distribution of blood to all the other channels. So this little table here is going to be talking about all the yin channels. So we have the Tai Yin is associated with nourishment, Xiao Yin is associated with regulation, and Jue Yin is associated with blood. And we've already talked about the Tai Yin and the Xiao Yin, so we're really just going to be focusing on Jue Yin. But remember that all of these are working together. So Tai Yin is grabbing our nourishment through our food and our breath, and then our Xiao Yin is regulating this breath and our fluids and the movement of our essence to where it needs to be, and then Jue Yin is the blood. With the Jue Yin channel, the temperature that is associated with this is the wind. So remember, Tai Yin was dampness, Xiao Yin was going to be heat, and now Jue Yin is wind. And so with this, wind has a tendency to move and frequently change, which we know that's level 1, class 1 TCM, right? But why do we get wind? Wind is a result typically from blood deficiency or maybe a lack of assignment of blood. And so we could start to say that Jue Yin is involved with any type of wind. So it could just be the Jue Yin didn't allocate or assign where the blood needs to be. And then the twitching or the muscle spasms, rashes could be coming on quickly. And then that's how we see it. And so using the Jue Yin to treat this would be very beneficial to be, 1, allocating blood to that area, and then 2, dispersing and expelling the wind. So Jue Yin metabolizes external and internal. So we've talked about how the Tai Yang, since that's being the greatest yang, that's our protector of the neck and the wind gate. And so they are involved in external wind, and the lung, if we're doing not applied channel theory, but other theories, the lung can be involved. So with this, Jue Yin is the only meridian system, channel system, that is involved with wind, internal wind. Diseases of external wind and moving and changing conditions of internal wind are calmed by the fullness of Jue Yin. So again, remember that if we have blood vessels that are full of blood, then there's no space for wind to be entering. So pericardium Jue Yin protects the heart with yin blood. Liver Jue Yin holds blood in reserve and distributes according to the need by dredging of functions pathways. Pathways are provided through the Xiao Yang, because the Xiao Yang is this canal system connecting everything through our fascia that is able to be moved and communicated through. Okay, so wind associated terminology. Dredging is going to be used for exogenous wind. Dredging of channels enables wind to go to the exterior yang channels, facilitating its release, while extinguishing is going to be endogenous, so internal wind, calming of endogenous winds through the fullness of blood. So if you are an herbalist, you're definitely using these terms more than just an acupuncturist. I think already in this video I said expelling, and so just one of those things to be keeping your eyes open. Okay, so blood is the mother of qi, and qi is the function, and qi is the commander of blood. So Jue Yin blood provides nourishment for the function. That's another way of just saying it. Pathways are maintained by the liver Jue Yin. Blood returns to the liver Jue Yin where it stills and clarifies. Emotional excess constitutes are held, calmed, and released by the pericardium. Let's just talk about Jue Yin in the pinyin real quick, because in the pinyin, Jue Yin is said to be the close of the inward. And so remember, Xiao Yin we usually think is like, Xiao Yin is the deepest, it's the rooted, you know, that's what we think. But actually, Jue Yin is said to be the closing of the inward. And so Xiao Yin is the pivot because it has a lot of this heat coming off into the heart, and then also has a lot of coolness and depth from the kidney. And so that's why it's the pivot where it can be transitioning to both, versus Jue Yin is truly protecting all of the yin and protecting the yin from this heat. And so that's why we can be dredging to clear all this excess and stagnation if we need that. Okay, and then diving into the hand Jue Yin. Hand Jue Yin is very simple. It's going to be protecting the heart. And when it's protecting the heart, again, remember that this is not just the sac that the heart is in, but this is going to be, again, protecting it from excess heart heat. It's going to be protecting it from excess emotion. The liver and the pericardium are able to communicate with each other about what the heart is needing. So if the heart is needing to be moving blood, the heart can tell the pericardium, because those two have a close relationship, and then the liver and the pericardium are also communicating through their close relationship. And then the liver, since it's storing the blood, is going to be able to move it to the heart and create the pumping effect throughout our whole body. So let me just go one step before all of that. The spleen is making the blood, the liver is storing the blood, the heart is moving the blood. And so with those three working together, that's how our blood and our whole system is working. If the heart starts to have irregular heartbeats, remember that that is going to be a heart problem. The heart is related to the conductivity, so palpitations, irregular heartbeats, that's going to be a heart organ issue, versus think about more of the protection around the heart. If there is issues with the arteries and the plaque around the heart, then those are ways that the pericardium has protected the actual organ. And also remember that the pericardium is going to be working on all of the emotional disorders as well. So influence of the 7 emotions can be felt by the heart, while the pericardium Jue Yin helps maintain the peace. So any stagnation of qi and blood in the pericardium may affect the ability of the heart to properly integrate the emotions. And so truly the pericardium protecting it from too much emotions as well. It's also, the pericardium is also going to be helping with excess physical activity, so providing blood and nourishment to the heart, and absorbs the release of generated excess heat, emotions, we already talked about that. So it's really just filtering all of this information of what the heart really needs to know and where all the nourishment needs to be. So check out this little graph because that will be helpful. And then let's dive into the foot Jue Yin. The liver is going to be dredging, draining, and regulating. So dredging, remember, is going to be clearing the channel and maintain appropriate flow between other channels and organ systems. So typically you would dredge when there is stagnation and there's no movement. So differentiating between the Tai Yin channel system, whose job it is to maintain function of qi and proper flow of qi, dredging from the Jue Yin is going to be, we have qi, but we have stagnation, and the stagnation is more important. So when you like dredge and like drain all of that. versus Tai Yin is truly just like, great, we're breathing, we have qi in the body, it's just not pumping to where it needs to be moving to. So ultimately, the liver and the lungs are working together on proper flow of all of this. It just kind of depends on why there's a stagnation. Is it because we don't have enough qi to even be moving, or is it because there's truly an excess where now things are stuck? So draining is facilitated by dredging to resolve stasis, there we go, and stagnation to keep supply lines open and functioning. And then regulating is also a job, and it's going to be maintaining an open pathway and facilitating blood flow to its constituents. So a big function and responsibility of the Jue Yin, specifically the foot Jue Yin, is going to be the organ storage of blood. So failure in maintaining blood quality and cleaning, so removal of the heat associated with blood constituents, and this could be leading to insomnia, irritability, dermatological issues, or any abnormal periods as well. We could also have assignment of blood to channel our organ systems, and this would be an assignment dysfunction presenting as muscle twitching or spasms resulting from inadequate blood supply. So this could be liver Jue Yin qi or a yang dysfunction right now. So as the qi and the yang are working, that would clear up the twitching and the spasms. And then if we have more of the organ storage of blood, that would be a yin problem. So within all of this storing of the blood and nourishing the sinews, we have the organ storage of blood, assignment of blood, and now we also have the impetus of movement of blood. Remember, impetus means that it's going to be like the force of energy which a body moves. So it's going to be very innate that we want the movement of blood, which I think, again, talking about the heart, we know that our heart is just an automatic thing that we're doing constantly because our heart wants the movement. And so in our whole body, we want this. And so the foot Jue Yin is able to regulate the dredging of the supply lines. It helps with improper flow, resulting in improper movement. So the heart Shao Yin moves the blood, but liver Jue Yin ensures proper allocation and the flow of the blood. The liver is the general telling the people how to be moving and where to be moving. And this is just one of those other ways of like making sure that the supply lines are getting the supplies. And that's exactly what's happening here. And then also we have the proper assignment and limitation of blood. So whether it's congealing or astringing, liver Jue Yin is going to be helping through dredging and draining of all of that. And we know that the foot Jue Yin opens to the eyes. This is classically said to enable distinguishing between light and darkness, relates to the eyes through its association of sinews and the blood. So as we break down the dilation versus the movement, these are going to be different parts of the responsibilities of the Jue Yin. So the ability of the eye to properly respond to changes in light, such as pupil conditions, cataracts, that's going to be more related to the kidney Shao Yin. But then the movement is going to be these super small muscles, and the sinews of the eye are going to be nourished by the liver Jue Yin blood and presents through the coordinated or independent movement of the eyes. So eye movement is going to be more of the Jue Yin versus the dilation and contraction of the iris will be the kidney Shao Yin. We also, if we have problems with the optic nerve, then that could be a sign of the Jue Yin not getting proper blood flow to the area. We already have the idea that Shao Yin can be causing symptoms with the eyes, and so the Shao Yang and the Tai Yin can as well. So redness or increase of interocular pressure involves the gallbladder, and that would be in Shao Yang excess, or severe twitching and crustiness around the eye involves the Tai Yin deficiency with heat. So different organs are going to the eye, and remember the eye is a microsystem, and the whole body can be represented throughout the eye. So don't always just think any eye issue is the Jue Yin. And of course, we have the spirit of the Jue Yin, and this is going to be the Hun, manifesting as courage. So courage to pursue plans seen clearly by the Shen. So once again, the heart / pericardium and the liver are communicating. So facilitates the ability to wait and observe and assess the situations, relations, emotional conditions until the time is appropriate for action, requiring courage. That's beautiful. We also have dysfunction presents as acting rashly in a foolhardy manner. That would be excess courage, and that's a failure to maintain the degree of caution. So sheesh, we got a lot on the foot Jue Yin in this flow map, but take a look at it all. It's all within the notes. It's all pretty self-explanatory. Again, all of this is just seeing the Jue Yin working together and how it's capable of working full body versus isolating it in other types of theory systems. So I hope this helps you. We're going to, of course, go into the truss of how we build this out. We'll do a truss with Xiao Yang and Jue Yin. We can also do a truss on Jue Yin and Yang Ming. And then after we go through those two, there's many more trusses that we can be doing, but it's not as simple, and we're building up to that. So stay tuned, follow along, ask your questions, and we will be in touch soon. Have a good day. Bye.